Good morning, class. Today we are going to learn economics, and as a first-year student, you need to focus on what I'm going to teach today. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Now we will start from the definition of economics. Who can define economics in his or her own words?
Sir, I want to try.
Okay, go on. I love those who try because they're the one who's ready to learn.
Thank you, sir. Economics is defined as the study of mankind in ordinary business.
You are not wrong, but I will give you 4/10. Now there are many definitions of economics, but the generally accepted definition is the one given by Professor Lionel Robbins, which says, economics is a science that studies human behavior as a relationship between ends and scarce means which have alternative uses. Alfred Marshall, for example, considered economics as the study of mankind in ordinary business life. Note, from the above definitions, economics can be considered as the study of management of relatively scarce resources. To make meaning out of the definitions above, there is the need to explain the key terms or words. These are, A. Economics as a science, B. Human behavior, C. Ends, D. Means, and E. Alternative uses. Let's define them one after the other. A. Economics as a science. First, economics is considered a science because it uses a scientific approach in its analysis. However, it is not pure science but social science because it deals with human beings. The scientific approach of economics involves the procedures highlighted below. I. Identification of the problem. Problem identification is the first step towards problem solving. Economists identify societal problems that need solution. 2. Formulation of hypothesis. Hypothesis is an assumption until proven otherwise. Economists make a presumption about what is or what ought to be, whichever is either confirmed or denied by research findings. 3. Data collection about some phenomenon. Economists collect data about phenomena for research purposes. For example, economists conduct market surveys as a means of collecting information about consumer behavior, about price changes. 5. Organization or classification of data to discover some pattern. Economists, after collecting the data, organize or classify them to discover some pattern. In this context, all facts about the consumers can be grouped differently from that of producers. The economist can look at the relationship between prices and the quantity demanded of commodities. That is, after organizing the data, price and quantities demanded, he examines the data to discover some pattern. V. Generalization on the basis of the pattern discovered. In most cases, economists formulate theories on the basis of the patterns discovered from the data analyzed. After organizing and discovering some patterns, it is used as a basis for generalizations or formulation of laws. In the case of consumer behavior, the generalization drawn is that, the lower the price of a commodity, the greater the quantity demanded of a commodity. V. Prediction on the basis of the theory or generalization. Economists, like physical scientists, make predictions on the basis of theory. For example, on the basis of the theory above, economists can predict the price fall of a commodity. Conclusion: economics thus deserves to be called a science, because the method it uses in its studies are scientific, which involves problem identification, formulation of hypothesis, collection of data, grouping or classifying the data, generalization, and predicting based on the pattern discovered from the data collected. B. Human behavior. This can be considered as the activities of man to earn a living. Economics studies the behavior of individuals, firms, and governments in the act or process of using scarce resources to satisfy unlimited wants. Economists study the behavior of the three economic units that are individuals, firms, and states. For example, human behavior in economics involves producers allocating resources to maximize profit, and also how consumers spend their income to maximize satisfaction. C. Ends. This can be considered as goods, aims, objectives, wants, among others. Ends are unlimited since individuals, firms, and governments cannot satisfy their wants. D. Means. This refers to resources used to satisfy ends or wants. In relation to wants, means are mostly said to be limited and subtly or scarce. Scarce means. E. Alternative uses. The resources are capital, labor, entrepreneur, and land. To the economist, these resources are scarce. These resources can be put into other uses,